Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things I've learned along the way as I have grown up into the person that I am today. Have I grown up yet? Have I grown up yet? I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I haven't. Anyway, today is Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. If you aren't watching this on Valentine's Day, if you're watching this closer to Mardi Gras, if you're watching this closer to Mardi Gras or Christmas, Merry Christmas, or your birthday, happy birthday, or whatever the holiday is, I wanted to talk about holidays in general today. And, you know, yesterday I did this video, and it was called, on my main channel, and it was called the Valentine's Day Rant. And it was like this kind of tongue-in-cheek video. Some people, I'm starting to realize, don't really understand my humor. But it was this like kind of tongue-in-cheek video about, you know, I'm tired of people complaining about they hate Valentine's Day. And, you know, it's like really the most hated holiday if you think about it. You know, people really don't like Valentine's Day for whatever reasons. You know, they just think it's a stupid holiday, or we should be practicing love every day anyway, or they're single or whatever. And I've been single for a few Valentine's Days, you know. I try to always have a date, but, you know, I'm married now. So, but we still do stuff for Valentine's Day. And, you know, I made dinner reservations, and Alex knows it's more important to me. So I'm like, I might as well just plan what I want to do. So we do, and we have a very romantic evening, and it's nice to have a special day set aside, you know, for that. And I was thinking about this today, and I talked in my video yesterday about how, you know, like when we were kids, like we would have the cupcake party at the school and wear the red turtleneck. And I was even thinking about this driving around today because for some reason I was thinking about my mom, and that's a little bit of what this is going to be about. You know, this year is the 10-year passing of, or the 10-year anniversary of my mom's passing in May. And I don't tend to celebrate the date of her death. I choose to celebrate the life that she had. For me, I don't know. Like, I mean, it kind of comes and goes and I notice it, but I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about that date. Because it's just a sad day, you know? And so anyway, but I was thinking about her today because she always made Valentine's Day very, very special. And I remember one year, I don't know why this came to me today when I didn't think of it yesterday. That's what happens to your mind as you get older. But I was thinking about this one year that we had like a snow day on Valentine's Day. And I got up and I started getting dressed. My mom was like, honey, there's no school today. Like, they canceled school because of the snow. And I was so upset. Now, if you had known me, okay, back in the day, I was the king for calling in sick. I never wanted to go to school. I wanted to stay at home and play with my stuffed animals and, you know, all that kind of stuff and watch movies. So the fact that I was upset over a snow day is all because it was Valentine's Day. And she was like, well, they're going to have the party tomorrow instead. And I'm like, it's not Valentine's Day tomorrow, Mom. You know? And so anyway, but I remember my mom used to always make, even to like when I was in high school, she would make Valentine's Day very, very special. And, you know, there would always be some kind of present in the morning. And it would typically be like a red or a pink shirt. Yes, I wore pink in high school. That's why I got made fun of a lot. But I do love pink. It's one of my favorite colors. So anyway, I love like that pale pink. I love that hot pink. I love pink. And so she would always buy me like some shirt, like some button-down collared shirt or a polo shirt or something like that to wear to school that day. And I typically would, you know. And so then when I came home that night for dinner, she would have like a fire in the fireplace made and candles lit, and we would have like some very nice sit-down dinner. And she would always like make my favorite thing, which was chicken curry. That's my favorite meal that my mom made. And she would make raw apple muffins. And we would just sit there and, you know, like we would have like this candlelight dinner. And it wasn't, of course, romantic because that would be weird between, you know, a mother and her son. But it was just nice. It was elegant, you know. And my mother, although I think fell short in a lot of areas of being a mother, there were a lot of places where she was very, very cool, you know. Like she would go out for things like that and get like special lemonade that came in a bottle, you know. Or like she just would like to have like a very elegant dinner for, you know, Valentine's Day. And she'd say, let's get dressed up at the dinner table and sit down and, you know, have a nice conversation and all that kind of stuff. And I look back on that and I think it's so cool that she did that. You know, there were always like chocolates, or she would make some kind of huge dessert afterwards, you know, like baked Alaska she made one year. If you've never had baked Alaska, it's incredible. And, you know, I look at that and I think today, not just Valentine's Day, but holidays in general mean so much to me because every holiday my mom made so special, you know, whether it was Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, my mom and my aunt made them so special, you know, and we had very elegant dinners. We got dressed up for it. You know, there were stories around the fireplace. You know, there were games later, things like that. And, you know, as like New Year's was always a big deal when I was a kid, although I usually spent them with my dad. But the earlier ones I spent with my mom, I can remember like banging pots and pans out, you know, in the driveway and all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, like every holiday after that, whether it was Mardi Gras, you know, my mom would always make some kind of like Creole dish, or, you know, 4th of July was always a big deal. I mean, it was always something, whatever holiday it was. Easter was huge to my mom. That was her favorite holiday. And my mother was a woman of very strong faith. So, you know, Palm Sunday, Ash Wednesday, Maundy, Thursday, and Easter were 4 big days for her. And, you know, she would go to church for all of those holidays. And she would say to me, like, one of her favorite church service of the entire year was Palm Sunday, from when the kids would come down the aisle and they would sing, you know, Hosanna, Hosanna, and she loved that. And I think my mother, you know, because she grew up very, very poor, special days meant a lot to her, because if in some special way, you know, they got, maybe on that day, they treated themselves a little bit better or something like that, she had this great appreciation for holidays. And she always did things around holidays. For Halloween, she had a come as you aren't party every year, you know, and she made, you know, finger punch, and there'd be plastic fingers floating in it. And, you know, she just always sent out cards to everybody for every holiday. Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving cards, you know, Halloween cards, every holiday she sent out cards. And it was interesting because, you know, this is the first year since my aunt passed away a year ago, January, and I went out to the mailbox today and there wasn't one Valentine's Day card in there. And my aunt always sent a Valentine's Day card, you know? And maybe I need to be that person that starts sending out cards to other people, you know? And I did get Valentine's Day cards from a couple of people through YouTube, and that was like really nice. You know, it's like, oh, like the tradition continues. But I think there's something to be taken in, you know, appreciating the days of our lives, so to speak, not like the soap opera. But, you know, like I say on here a lot that we're on borrowed time and life is short. And if that is the case, then why wouldn't we celebrate special days, whether they're birthdays or anniversaries, you know, or dogs' birthdays, because we're big around here for celebrating that, or Valentine's Day or New Year's or whatever. And you don't have to do something elaborate. You don't have to do something huge. You can do something in your own special way, you know? A lot of holidays that we celebrate, we do things, you know, on a much smaller level, if that makes sense. And, you know, like, back in the day, like, we would go out, Alex and I would go out for, St. Patrick's Day, and that's just not my thing, you know? Like, I don't love the green beer and all that kind of stuff. So he'll after work go home with somebody and like, well, not that, but he'll like, no, he'll go over to a bar with somebody and he'll have like a green beer with one of the girls he works with or whatever. And then he'll come home after that and we'll have like, you know, back in the day, I'm a vegetarian now, but we'll have like corned beef and cabbage or something like that, you know? And we can still celebrate it and do something special. And it doesn't have to be extravagant. It doesn't have to be standing in a bar till 2 o'clock in the morning, you know? It doesn't have to be buying some $5,000 diamond earrings from, you know, Tiffany's or something like that for Valentine's Day. It doesn't have to be being in Times Square for New Year's Eve. You know, you can sit at home and make your favorite meal and watch, you know, the ball drop in Times Square and be with your dogs and then watch your favorite movie afterwards. And that could be the most amazing New Year's ever. But to just let these days go by unacknowledged means that, you know, on some level, we don't want to really enjoy everything out there. And when I talk about like all the things I believe in, whether that's like, you know, unicorns or Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster, that's a big one for me, or UFOs and aliens, you know, one of the reasons why, I mean, like, I don't know until I see it, right? Like, I'm not going and reading the books and I'm like, yes, I put my hand on a Bible and say, I believe in Santa Claus. But the reason why I like to believe in those things is because it just tends to make, I don't know, my life and the world a little bit more interesting. What if? You know, what if? Like, I don't need to live in this little box where I go, oh, there's nothing. You know, there's no God, there's no Loch Ness, there's no Santa Claus. That's like kind of a depressing life for me, just in my opinion. I can only speak for myself, right? And so I like to believe in all of those things. And I think to the same degree, that's why I like to celebrate Valentine's Day, celebrate birthdays in a way. And, you know, my husband, like, let's just use birthdays, for example. My husband loves to throw a big party for himself. He doesn't want anybody else to do it because they'll get it wrong. And I've tried to throw a surprise party for him and he won't let me. So he likes to pick a restaurant, invite 20 or 30 of his friends, pick a club, get a VIP section afterwards. That's what he likes to do. Last year we traveled for our birthday, which was really nice. What do I like to do? I like to go to a double feature, have lunch at Steak and Shake, and get candy at the movie. come home and take a nap with my husband. That's what I like to do on my birthday. One is not better than the other. One is not more important than the other. There are different ways to celebrate them. But to me, that double feature at the movie theater in the middle of the day and then going to eat at Steak and Shake and having a shake and, you know, whatever, a patty melt or a Frisco melt, like, to me, that's just as special. You know what I mean? And so it's, how do you choose to celebrate holidays and how do you choose to do all this kind of stuff? But you don't have to be with somebody. You don't have to have 15 friends or even one or a partner or anything to make these days special. We can make them special all alone. And I am one person that really wants to make my life as full as I possibly can. And having a day like Valentine's Day isn't just a day to, you know, commemorate love or send somebody a Valentine's Day card. It's a day that's different than every other day. And I think that's cool. I love you guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye.